Yeah, good day, everyone. I welcome you all to the second section of the day. Right now, we are going to look at how to process journal entries in Asaerp. You can use your journal to process your payment, cash payment, bank payment. You can also use it to set up your amortization, how you want to amortize on expenses. And there are also other various things you can post to the journal. So right now I'm going to launch you to the journal entry in Asaerp. So from the home page, go to Awesome search bar, type journal entry list. So these are the list of journal entries that have already been passed. Click on add journal entry. So this is the journal entry environment. You can see journal entry type. We have journal entry, we have intercompany journal, we have bank entry, we have cash entry, credit card, debit note, credit note, contract entry, exercise duty, write-off, opening entry, depreciation entry, exchange rate revaluation, exchange gain and loss, deferred revenue, and deferred expenses. So these are the various entry types. So by default, the entry type is journal entry. Some organizations they like to specify now when posting their journals the type of journal entry, whether it's a contract, whether it's cash or bank. But by default, the journal entry that will be on journal entry is whenever I want to create a journal is journal entry. Some companies don't care to know whether it's cash or bank, they just use journal entry. So we could be using journal entry for now. Am I communicating? So yeah, so the date, you have to specify the date they want to post your transaction. You can change the date. Today is 30th 31st January 2024. Assuming the transaction occurred on 4th January, you can go to 4th. Specify the date. You can move forward, February. You can move backwards. So you have to specify the date of the transaction. You have to specify the date of the transaction. So today is 31st January 2024. So the next thing is, let's go to the journal entry or accounting entry table. This is why you pick the account. Good, you can see them here. Just search. As means rent, you see rent. You have prepared and you have rent. If it's salary, this is where you pick the account. This is where you pick party type or party if it's consigns your transaction as per customer or supplier. You can see it has a debit and credit column. Debit and credit column. Now remember, in journal entry principle we say debit the receiver and credit the giver. So you can add rows. That means with this journal you can post as many vouchers you have or entries you have for your expense. So I want to delete them. Okay. So that is journal entry. It has column for where you put reference number, reference date, and remark where you put your narration for the transaction. If it's transport fare, if it's stationaries, if it's whatever, you have to specify it. So these are the basic entries. You have journal entry type. You choose your date, and you now add the columns. The account you will debit and the ones you will credit. So that is the journal entry voucher environment or the interface. Now, what we should ask ourselves, what are the uses of journal entry? In our own case, now we are going to look at how to manage petty cash, mostly petty cash management. Your impress system, where a specific amount of money we specify, maybe on weekly basis or monthly basis, to manage or to carry out some specific operational expenses. So, for instance, let us assume that 200,000 is voted out for the impress. So I have deposit 200,000 paid from First Bank account and sent to petty cash account. So in that case now, we are going to demonstrate it. That must be posted. In that case, we are going to debit petty cash and credit First Bank, because petty cash is receiving while the bank is what giving. So debit the giver and credit the giver. So the first row, we are going to type petty cash, ignore party type and party, because it is an account, it's not a party. When we talk of party type and party, is where we are creating an account that's related to a customer or a supplier. So petty cash, party type and party, ignore. Debit amount is 200,000. That's the float. Then the second row is they are going to enter, select the account that gave, which is First Bank. You can see First Bank. The amount here is 200,000. Okay. You can see the petty cash is debited. First Bank is what? Credited. So that's it. You can see it here. Debit First Bank, petty cash, credit First Bank. So go down to remark. It's January 2024 impress. Good. January 2024 impress. Good. So once you've done that, you save and submit. Say yes. Save and submit. Say yes. So that's one first thing to be done. Now the money have been given to the petty cashier or the cashier for basic or small expenses, operational expenses. So now the cashier begin to spend the money, not that he's spending for his personal use, based on approved payment vouchers. Once a voucher is approved, let's assuming for that a particular voucher that's expenses for stationaries is there. Then you have expenses for transportation. Maybe you went to bank. There are other expenses. Maybe you bought lubricant. You buy lubricant for the company vehicle, and so on. So let us see how we can process the payment. Then, as I told you, this is your home page. Go to Asaerp and search journal entry list. From here, you say add journal entry. Entry type by default is journal entry. The date, you choose today's date. Come the accounting entry. Then the first expense is there is stationaries. Just type stationaries. You can see the printer stationery. Debit, because you are debiting an expense. Maybe the amount for the stationery is 20,000. Okay. The expenses on the same voucher, approved payment voucher is travel expenses. Maybe somebody traveled to Abuja and the money was given to him. Maybe the person spent 30,000. Other expenses there on the line is lubricant. Maybe the person bought mobile oil for the operation car, so it will posted to the expense called fuel and lubricant. If the person spent maybe 12,000, okay, 12,000. So this is what is contained in that approved payment voucher. Then the next thing is to credit the petty cash. The petty cash that gave those money. You can see that 20, 30, 12 will give us 62,000. You can see it's on the credit side. You have to be careful with it. Then you now come down to your remark, user remark. You can say mention those expenses. Payment for A4 papers, TP to Abuja, and 12-liter mobile oil. So that's it. You specify the remark. The next thing is to specify the cost center for these three expenses. You have to specify the cost center for these three expenses. So how do you do that? We can set up the cost center and bring the table here, but since it's not here, for you to specify, you click on the edit. When you click on edit, come to accounting dimension. Cost center is there by default. You can change it to any other one. Abuja. Okay. Travel expenses. Go to accounting dimension. Remove the main by default. Abuja. Click aside here. Go to fuel and lubricant. Accounting dimension. Change the main to Abuja. Okay, so that's it. So during the customization, you can be able to bring in the cost center on the table here, so you don't need to go to at the back end. So once this is done, you save and submit. I see that those expenses will be debited while the petty cash will be created. So if you want to view the journal entry passed as per this journal, go to view ledger. Yeah, you can see printing assignation is debited, travel expense is debited, fuel is debited, where petty cash is what? Credited. So that's it for posting of petty cash. So in the same way, any other expenses, if it's paid from bank, you debit the expenses and credit the bank as the giver. So that is on petty cash management. So the next thing we are going to treat now is how to amortize your expenses. How to amortize your expenses. For amortization, expenses that is paid, that's meant for a period, not for a specific time. For instance, let's take rent. If you pay rent can be paid maybe for 1 year, 2 years, as the case may be. So it will be wrong for you to recognize the rent in a particular year. So what you will do is to amortize it. For it to amortize, we use what we call auto repeat. You use what we call auto repeat. Let's assume the rent for the year is 1.2 million naira. 1.2 million naira paid from First Bank account. So first of all, you are going to recognize that payment of rent. For you to do that, you also use journal. Go to your journal entry, click on add journal entry, then specify the date, which is 31st January 2024. Once you do that, come to your accounting entry table. When rent is paid in advance, you don't put it to rent expenses. Here you're going to post it to prepaid rent and debit prepaid rent and credit bank. So account here is prepaid rent will be debited with the whole amount. It's an asset prepayment, while bank account is credited. First bank is credited with that same amount. You now come to your narration and say it is 2024 Lagos office rent. Okay, so you save and submit. This is the first stage of the amortization. You recognize the prepayment, debit the prepaid expenses, that prepare rent and credit your bank. So the second stage is amortize it to make sure that this rent is amortized, posted on an equal basis from January to December 2024. So you can see that the total cost of the rent is 1.2 million naira. So 1.2 divided by 12 will give us 1.2 million naira divided by 12 will give us 100,000 per month. So we are going to post, instead of posting the journal, maybe each month you post 200,000, January post 100,000, February post 100,000 till December. So we are just going to command the system to do it automatically for you. So for you to do that, you are going to post the first journal, amortization journal for January 2024. So how do you do that? Locate your journal entry list. Okay, add journal entry, choose your date. The first one is 31st January, that's the first month of the year. Then come here. In this case, now when you amortize, you are now going to debit the expense account and credit the prepaid expenses. In this case, now we are going to debit rent as an expenses and credit prepaid rent. So here you type rent, okay, which is 100,000 for the first month. Then credit prepaid rent. Okay, that is the treatment. Under your remark, you now say January 2024 rent amortized. Sorry. Good. So that's it. So here you also specify your cost center, accounting dimension, Lagos. This is Lagos rent. Okay. So you save. That is the first journal. So from this point, instead of you to begin to now go and post for January, February, March, April, May, June, July, you are going to command this voucher now to be automatically be submitted at the end of every month from February 2024 to 31st December 2024. So for you to do that, I want you to watch. Come to menu. This is menu. Can you see menu here? Yes. Click on menu. Click on repeat. Let me go back. You want to command this first voucher to be submitted at the end of every month from the end of February to the end of December 2024. So go to menu. Click on repeat. Good. When you click on repeat, frequency. How often do you want it to be posted? You say monthly. Then from start date is from 31st January, the date of the posting, the first posting of the journal, or this journal date that we are using to set up. So to when? 31st December, 31st December, good, 31st December 2024, you save. Good. Once you save, you need to also do a proper setup of it. This is not the end. You need to post a proper setup of this. So from here, see, you can see where we have repeat monthly. I don't know if you can see it here. Repeat monthly. Or if you cannot it, search for proper setup of that auto repeat setup. From this search bar, type auto repeat. Auto repeat. Auto repeat list. Let me go back. For you to do a proper setup of that accounting journal that we set up for automated amortization of the rent, go to auto repeat list and locate that one. You can see it here. It's active. Open it. You can see there's a schedule. Schedule have been prepared for you. From the first journal have been passed. The next one now is 29 February 2024, and so on. So let's go down. Let's confirm. The start date is this, end date is this, next schedule is this. Then you can see we have submit on creation. So that is why I say you must locate this through auto repeat to do a proper setup of it. If you don't check this now, the system is going to raise and submit and raise a draft journal voucher for it, for you to go and submit it manually. So, and it's not done. Accountant, we're busy. You might forget to do that. The thing will just be lying there. So you have to check this, submit on correction. Monthly is there. Then repeat on last day. You should check it too. Repeat on last day, so that the system will be able to repeat on each last day. So repeat on last day must be checked. So you can see it here. The first journal have been passed. The next one will be February, automatically March, April, May, June, July to November as per schedule. But don't mind what is in this schedule. The last one will be December. The system will recognize this December because you have specified the date. But December schedule is not here. Once the system got here, the next one, December, it will be posted. So it has been tested and proved. So that's it for auto repeat. You now save it. Save it. Good, it's saved. So at the end of the month, the system will begin to submit it February, March to December. Once December is submitted, the status of this auto repeat voucher will change to completed. It will change to what? Completed. Assuming that the rent, after paying the rent 1, 2, 3, 4 months, and there's a refund, and you don't want this thing to be posted again, what you go is come here and say, well, disable it, and save. Once you disable, the next month will not be posted again, because the rent have been refunded. The unused months have been refunded. So you have to disable it. But at this point, I'm going to enable it again for training purposes. So that's it for auto repeat, or how to set up auto repeat for amortization of our expenses. So that's it for journal entries. I told you can use it for petty management. You want to pay from bank, you want to pay from petty cash, You can even use it to pass journal as led to your customers and your suppliers and so on. So I thank you for your time, and if you have any question, you can now go ahead and ask your questions. Thank you very much.